You're now riding in the back seat with your favorite cousin, Lady Luck, aka the Highway Honey. And baby, this ain't your average podcast. We talking trucking, truth, trauma, transition, and what it really takes to find peace after the pavement. So park that pain, buckle that purpose, and pull up a seat, cause the back seat is wide open and we got room for your story. From 18 wheels to real feels, this is your weekly dose of hustle, healing, and the highway stories. Buckle up, cousin. Let's ride. What's good, cousin? Welcome to my podcast, The Backseat with Lady Luck. You are now riding in the backseat with your favorite Highway Honey. And today, I'm kicking off something brand new, but oh so familiar. A space for truckers, for dreamers, builders, and healers to talk that real. See, I may be stepped out the truck, but the mission still rolling, still alive, and still loud. Welcome to episode 1 of the podcast. You can leave the truck, but not the mission. If you already been rocking with me on YouTube, then you already know how I get in. I've laughed with y'all, cried with y'all, healed with y'all, right from the cab. Now, we taking it to the back seat. A new season, a new space, but the same heart. Now, I knew it was time for me to pivot. My spirit got tired before my tires did. I wasn't running from the grind. I was listening to the whisper saying, baby girl, you got more to give. And you can't do it all from behind the wheel. So this podcast right here, this is my new lane. And I'm still bringing every mile of the journey with me. Because the trucking game don't end when the truck stops. Sometimes that's where the real story begins. So buckle up, cousin. We got a long road ahead of us, but we riding together. This part of the show is Call In from the Road, where real truckers call in with stories, trucking news, dispatch board tales, news resources such as apps, FMCSA updates, grants, and more. Now, y'all know I couldn't ride solo on episode 1. That just wouldn't be me. So I had to call in some backup, straight off the road, probably still smelling like diesel and beef jerky, but full of wisdom. This my dog, one of the realest voices in the game. They pulled up on me to the backseat live. Not a voicemail, not a clip, but live in color. Let's go ahead and bring them out. This my dog, my homie, Big Star, better known as Prince. What's good, cousin? Okay. How you feeling?
It's a day.
Okay, I feel you.
Good. I'm feeling good.
Good. You know, one of my little sayings is, when people ask me how I'm doing, I like to say, hey, I can't complain. I was on the wake up list this morning, so I can't complain.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So let's jump right in. We're not going to waste any time. We are live over here on the backseat with Lady Luck, and I have a few questions for you, just 3. So let's just jump into the first question. What was the moment you knew it was time to step away from trucking, and how did that decision hit you emotionally?
The way that I knew for me is that I ended up losing my foot due to a pressurized ulcer.
Wow.
In the middle of a load, actually, I had about a $7,500 load going to Detroit from Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go to the doctor that day because I was was feeling kind of different.
Okay.
I went to the doctor, going to be right after. I go in, they told me I'm running the temperature. At the time, my temperature was like maybe 101, almost 102.
Mm-hmm.
They said, well, how do you feel? So I feel good. Can I go?
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I said, no, we need to check your blood pressure again, but we need your temperature to come down a little bit. We're going to wait about 15 more minutes. Well, 15 minutes turned into an hour.
Okay.
And they basically came back and told me, hey, look, right now you're about 103. If you end up getting hotter, we're going to have to basically pack you down with ice
Mm-hmm.
to prevent you from getting brain damage because you got an infection in your body somewhere.
Wow.
So they found it was in my foot, and they had to cut my foot off.
Oh, damn.
And I think there was a matter of maybe 4 hours that all that happened because he basically told me, if we don't do this now, you're not going to be here anymore.
Damn. So what exactly was
So,
it? What was it? Can you explain what the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got you. Basically, what happened was is that I took my son and my in-laws to Six Flags up in St. Louis.
Okay.
Being diabetic, I knew that I had to wear water shoes while in the water park because it's concrete.
Okay.
I don't ride roller coasters. Even though I'm 6'6", you're not gonna put my big ass up there.
I know that's right. Baby, I feel you on that one. And I ain't 6 foot nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I stayed in the water park all day, but I wore water shoes and not the water shoes. And when you stay in the water too long, your fingers get spongy, scrunchy, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But my foot did that while I had the water shoes on. I never did take them off.
Okay.
Till that night at the hotel.
Okay.
Water had soaked to my foot. And that was around the time of that Hurricane Harvey was just about to hit the next week.
Okay.
So I walked on my foot in some Crocs because I was having an issue with my foot at the time.
Okay.
And basically walking on the pad of my foot, it formed a pressurized ulcer between my baby toe and my I call it my ring finger toe. So it formed a pressurized ulcer right there.
Yeah.
How the house is right.
Yeah.
But
that's a good way to describe it, by the way.
Yeah. So I took good care of it. I went to the doctor and everything, and they said, "Oh, it was healing good, everything's fine." But somewhere within 2 weeks, I formed a pressurized ulcer. The thing about pressurized ulcer, when they get to the bone, there's no IV treatment. Now, if I would have caught it earlier, if the doctors would have caught it earlier, I could have saved my foot. I could have took IVs. But at that point, it was either not get it cut off and then affect losing more body parts.
Okay.
And potentially get a blood infection tonight. Or get it cut off and have a chance of surviving. At the time, my son was only like six maybe, not even 7 years old.
Wow.
So, hey, I got to live for him.
I know that's right. You definitely do. So let me make sure I got this correct. You had the pressurized, did you say? Ulcer, which began from you being a diabetic. Or is that?
Diabetic, yes.
Okay. And you were on the truck when this all took place. Well, the beginning of it took place.
Yeah, the whole amputation and everything.
Damn. How did that affect you? Emotionally, how did that affect you? Yes.
It fucked me up.
I bet.
It fucked me up because me personally, I've been around trucking my whole life.
Yeah.
And even before my life, my daddy carried me around his nutsack. I was on the truck.
Okay.
So, backstory on it is that my dad was in the Korean War.
Yeah.
He enlisted at 17.
Oh, wow. We have something in common, not to cut you off, but my daddy is the reason why I got into trucking as well. I was in the sack too. I'm like you. No lie. That's how I started. My dad. Yeah, I started my dad. He was driving when I was legit, but I'm not sure if he drove before me, before I came along, because I was born in '86. That was a great year, by the way. But he was driving when I was legit, and he was still driving when I got into the game in 2015. So that's crazy. We got something in common.
Yeah, my dad was the same way. When Korean War. I think my dad was like 22, 24.
Okay.
He started driving truck. So he was driving truck before there were even sleepers in the truck.
So he was driving. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was driving when they had just the little cab with the double shifters.
What about the Terminator truck? Was he driving before then? Like, you know how that little flat. What are those trucks called? The Terminator truck.
You're talking about the cab overs?
That's what that is. The one that was in the Terminator movie, the very first Terminator movie. It was flat in the front. It don't have a nose. That's a cab over.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was driving before then.
Oh, damn. Okay. Shouts out to Pops.
When the trailers were only about 30 feet long.
Damn. Shouts out to Pops.
They used to tell me about stories of sleeping underneath the trailer hooked to a hammock underneath the bottom of the trailer.
Damn.
If they didn't sleep down there, they would sleep in a cab with a piece of wood going across both seats.
Now that's throwback. That's dinosaur days.
Yeah.
Damn.
He met my mom. They drove team together.
Nice.
My mom, my dad, my brother, and his wife used to drive for the same company back in the 80s.
Nice.
80s when my mom and dad got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother and his wife got pregnant.
Nice.
So then my other brother drove too. So I've been in the family business of trucking.
Yes.
Even though Daddy didn't want me to go into it.
Nice.
But emotionally, it crushed me because I'm like, damn, I want to be able to bring my kids up in something that I felt was a family legacy.
Right.
Not to say we were, the shit and anything like that, but that's what made us money. That's what got us to the point where we were able to take care of our families and be proud of what we were doing.
Correct.
It was legit.
Correct. Building that legacy. And this isn't one of the three questions that I have, but this is a sidebar. I know you personally, so I know a little bit about you, but my viewers don't know you. When I introduced Big Star, I said it's my dog, and he's full of wisdom. Now, when I say that, I mean he's been in the trucking game for a very long time. Before he lost his limbs, he was an owner operator. He was doing it big, like he's speaking of the legacy that he built for himself and his family. Can you kind of like dive in a little bit and let the viewers know kind of like your background story when it comes to what you were doing in the trucking industry before this tragedy happened to you?
Okay. Well, I got my CD the other day. I turned 21. Okay. April the 7th, 2024. Mm-hmm. I've been driving truck ever since. Basically taught myself how to drive basically by looking at my dad and my brother. They never let me allow me to. Okay. Was a company driver, started out with company transport for the first 2 years of my career. Okay. Built up a knowledge of the road for myself, map reading skills, just a love of the highway. Mm-hmm. I then went on to my first lease purchase over in Central Hall, which is the lease purchase owner operating side of Calmar. Okay. Stayed there for 2 years until it got kind of bad. Resigned from there. I went to a company called Danny Gilder, which used to be part of the Make America Corporation. Okay. Was there for a while. I ran Dedicated, Kingsford Charcoal, Raw Char, ran P&G, East Coast, West Coast. Mm-hmm. Let's see. After I left there, I went to Martin Transportation.
Shout out to Martin.
Shout out to Martin. Bluebird.
Okay.
Ran over there at Tucker. I'm sorry. Ran at Forest Park, Georgia, before they built the new terminal.
Okay, because I was going to say, as you know, well, for those of you who don't know, I ran for Martin for a good maybe 4 months, and I was out of the Tucker terminal, and I don't know anything about a Forest Park, so you were there before they had Forest Park rocking, I guess.
Yeah, Forest Park is over there behind the old J.C. Penney over there in Atlanta.
Right. Okay. Okay.
It was over a very small yard. Left about it there, and I went to they opened a Memphis terminal.
Yes.
So I was out of Tucker.
I've been there.
Yeah, I was out of Tucker first before they opened Memphis.
Okay.
And was at Memphis, was running dedicated. I was one of the first ones to explore for Martin running the Walmart dedicated before they started taking over with that.
Okay. Was that reefer or drive-in?
That was reefer. That's before they even had drive-ins.
Oh.
The only drive-ins Martin had at the time were the container trailers.
Wow, they had containers?
Yeah,
like
blue containers that said Martin.
Like out of the containers that come from the rail yard?
Yeah.
Oh.
They had all blues that said Martin.
Oh. Okay.
They later ended up, that's when they ended up getting the drive-ins. Okay. Putting some of that stuff on there.
Okay.
I did 2 years there. I did 6 months at a Colonial Freight out of Knoxville. I got fired from Martin.
Why did you get fired from Martin?
Because I was told that I drug a trailer halfway around the country and blew out the tire and burned down when I actually picked it up off the Memphis yard. It had only gone maybe 20 miles over to Marion, Arkansas, blew a tire on the way to Jonesboro. Okay. And the trailer had just been picked up from another driver who had loaded it from the Tucker yard and had it greased, hadn't inspected the grease. Oh. And once the tire on the trailer, it wrapped around the axle and started a grease fire. Damn. And when they look at it with just a small fire extinguisher that burned to the ground. But I saved the truck. Okay. Was it freight in the trailer? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was taking fresh fajita chicken that just came out of Albertsville, Alabama. Ooh. To make TV dinners. Ooh, they had that highway smelling like that good bird. It was so funny because barbecue bird. What's that white stuff? Why does it smell so good? That's chicken, baby. Okay, that's that barbecue bird right there, fresh off the press. Yeah. So, okay. After that, I kind of couldn't find a job because it was reported wrong on my dad, and I had to end up potentially fighting it. Lucky for me, DOT knew what happened and saw what happened. Right. So they reported as well as it was, whereas the company reported another thing different. They're good for that. Yeah, they're good for that. Good for that. Very good for that. That was one of the things that a lot of my subscribers was dropping comments under my videos about Martin. When I quit Martin, I actually dropped the vlog letting everybody know why I quit. And that's one of the things that numerous of comments came in saying, be careful because they will put some bullshit on your DAC report just because you, and my purpose of when I quit, I didn't quit, I resigned. Okay. And we were having this conversation the other day. What were you saying about the difference between quitting and resigning? Well, the difference between never quit a trucking job. Right. Who's ever listening to this, never quit a trucking job. No matter if you got another job or not. What you do is you resign. And when you resign, you do it respectfully. Right. Hey, and I don't want to tell people to lie. Yeah. But in order to do some things, you need to stretch the truth a little bit. Sometimes a little white lie ain't bad. Right. Like I was telling you, you got a problem, you're having a problem, you're having an issue, and you want to explore your options, don't quit. Yeah. Just say, hey, I had an emergency come up that needs to be taken care of. Right. I don't think at this time I'll be able to successfully do my job. So I'm just going to resign my post. Right. Why resign? Because at the end of the day, if you want to come back, if you need to come back, guess what? You can come back. Right. You can come back. They won't put anything on your report. Right. that's crazy. He abandoned the truck and this and the third.
Right.
No, you resign your post. I resigned the post from a job because I went home to a doctor underneath the load. Mm-hmm. And now I would be the first to tell you, I was having problems with this company because I wouldn't get paid.
Yeah.
So I went to the doctor. Right. I went to the doctor at home, and the doctor says, "Hey, yeah, you look good and everything, man, but we just want to keep sure we keep the A1C down." Now, it wasn't high or anything like that. Mm-hmm. That's all he told me. Okay. So what I do, I called the company back and said, "Hey, I still got one more stop on this load." Now, I had another job already told me to come in. Mm-hmm. I did orientation while I was going to. Okay. But my thing was, man, how am I going to tell these people I quit without them trying to hit for security deposits and stuff like that? Right. I'm going to resign my job. So I called him and said this and said, "Hey, I just went to my doctor." Mm-hmm. And he said, "My A1C is going up." This was back in 2010, I think it was. Okay. Well, yeah, 2010, the summer, this time of 2010. Okay. My son wasn't born. And I said, "Hey, my last stop is in Atlanta. I'm in Memphis right now. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this run out. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to bring the truck back because I got to get back home. Mm-hmm. Because my doctor says he wants me to work on my A1C because my diabetes is getting out of control." Yeah. "Oh, no. The doctor said that." I said, "Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. I tell you what, we're going to send somebody to come get the truck." And I told him, I said, no, don't do it. I'm going to bring it back because I don't want no abandonment. Yeah, abandonment's on my record. Exactly. Because, like I said, I was still in Memphis. They sent somebody to get the truck. They said, no. Mm-hmm. Take care of your health. Mm-hmm. Take care of your health. Mm-hmm. You're a good driver. Yeah. We want you to come back when you're ready. Nice. When you're strong enough. Yes. And the reason I did that was because I could have left the truck there and said, "Hey, I ain't going nowhere." Right. They would have sent somebody to come and get it, but now they would have charged me for it. Exactly. Sure would have. Any drivers out there, you hear that? Make sure you don't quit. You resign. Resign. Okay. Resign. Because what ended up happening was, even though I was like, "This is a truck from them," right? 2 weeks later, guess what I get in the mail? What's that? A $3,500 check. Oh, nice. I got my security deposit and everything on my equipment. Nice. Plus my last paycheck. So I didn't have any issues. Well, you got lucky. But if you quit, then that's when they do you dirty. That's when they do you dirty. They drag you. Aaron, I'm going to give it 2 weeks notice and everything's all good between us. Mm-hmm. Everybody be all good. But as soon as you put in that 2 weeks notice, guess what? Now job done, worry about it. Going back to your truck again. Yep. I can relate. I can relate to that. The whole attitude changes. Yep. I can relate. The whole attitude changes. Then you look at that money that you were expecting. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden it just disappeared. Mm-hmm. We'll get your last check $35. Right. If you get that, shit. Yeah, I was working with Welfare Express, baby. I ain't get that. And I had over $6,000 in that escrow account, baby. I ain't get a penny. It calculated it up to where zero all across the board. But that's something we'll get into later. That's another topic for another episode. But let's get into question number 2. So the question is, since hanging up your keys, what's been the hardest part about adjusting to life off the road? Everything. Wow. And for anybody that was, and I mean all the disrespect in the world to these young drivers. I mean all. Okay. But for somebody like me and a bunch of older heads that love the road. Yeah. When I say the road, I'm not talking about want to be home, every day or every other day off for a weekend. I'm talking about the cats that go out there and do 2 weeks, 3 weeks plus at a time. Mm-hmm. That love waking up in a different city every day.
Yeah. The love for
And
trucking.
you can't, the love for trucking, the love, like you said, I remember as a kid, I'm going to jump back.
Okay.
As a kid, I remember my dad used to get off the road and he used to have this yellow overnight bag. And he would come home and my daddy would have this cologne that smelled so sweet and good.
Okay.
And I always wanted to smell like it.
Yeah.
You know what it was?
What was
it? Diesel.
You heard me say you got off the road and you probably smell like diesel and beef jerky still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, back in the day, the diesel didn't smell like it was now. It was different because it was cheaper too.
Okay, I can
it was
imagine.
Sweet.
Okay.
It was sweet, kind of like a cologne.
Okay.
Kind of like a Davidoff cologne.
Okay.
You know. But now the stuff that we have now, they didn't put so much trash into it.
Yeah.
It's not that. See, I miss that old smell.
Yeah.
I miss it. It reminded me when I started driving. When I rode with my daddy, had to sleep on a doghouse. For all you young heads that don't know, like in the cab motors.
Okay.
The motor was set in between the truck, both the passenger and driver seat.
Okay.
They called it the doghouse. It had a cover. Okay. And usually it went straight into the bottom bunk. Wow. You probably didn't have a floor. If you did have a floor, you could only step off to the sides. Okay. Still on the engine. Dang. That doghouse as a kid, you sleep on it. You know? Okay. That was a love. You didn't need it. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But I miss that love adjusting to being home every day, dealing with especially relationships with married or dating or whatever. And you got to see that person every day. Yeah. And you got to find a new reason every day to be like, I miss you. Yeah. You know, sometimes for a lot of us, loners and the road is our mistress. I ain't gonna hold you now. I don't ran into a lot of drivers, men, that you ask them certain questions, and one of the questions could be like, "What do you love most about being on the road?" And I don't have plenty of drivers say, "Shit, being away from my wife," and that's a real thing. So, yeah, it's a real thing. Not to say I miss being away from my wife, but I miss. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I miss the coming home and being like I just won the World Series. I had to win a home run the World Series to my family. Yeah. That was everything. Like you come home. I mean, my kids, my stepkids, I had them ever since they were 5, 7, and 8. Okay. And when I would come home off the road, all they wanted to do was, "Daddy, can we get your dirty clothes out the truck?" Okay. It's the excitement. It's the excitement. It's the excitement for the love that they have for you when you came home. That bad boy. Yeah. And just sit behind the wheel. Daddy, look up you. Yeah. Grab the CD for the air horn, Okay. I'm just sitting in the car, just kind of, get my head rubbed or whatever, get my beard rubbed, stuff by my wife. Yeah. The stuff like that, because now, I hate to say it, you end up having to find something, a common ground to be happy about, because now your love is gone. Yeah. Your love is gone. It's out of reach right now. Temporarily. That's how I look at all things. Yeah. It's been 8 years for me now, but I still know I can get back there. Yeah. A lot of people say, "Well, you don't want to get back there, it ain't what it used to." Yeah. No, it's what you make of. True, because every driver has their own unique story. Every driver don't have the same story. So it's been 8 years since you lost your leg, since you've been driving. Since this happened, tragic happened. Okay. Yeah, I lost my foot October 2017. Wow. I lost my foot. I was BK, below the amputee. Damn. And 6 months later, after my 35th birthday, I fell into a coma for about a month and a half. After I woke up from that, they found out I had an infection that was in my stomach.
In your who?
My stomach, what was left of my left leg.
Okay.
And they ended up taking basically from what was left of halfway of my calf muscle to right above my knee, which then made me above the amputee. Woke up out of my coma. I was paralyzed from the chest down. I was blind in one eye and couldn't walk.
Hey.
I couldn't even sit up. But the love for me was that, and even through that, I have lost memory too. I lost majority of my memory. My dad, who had, he passed after I lost my foot in October 2017.
My condolences.
I got out the hospital. Yeah, thank you. I got out the hospital November 6, 2018. And my dad passed. Well, I'm sorry. My oldest brother and sister, my dad's first wife, their mother died the 3rd of December.
Wow.
Then 2 days later, our father passed the 5th of December.
That's a lot to take in.
So, yeah. And I'm still not knowing, recovering. I still had my truck and trailer at the time, but I had no driver. Yeah. I had no clear thought of what I was doing before. I knew I drove truck, but my head was so cloudy with trying to get stronger that I was battling myself. It really took me about maybe 8 months to come out of there. But like I said, that love for the highway was still there. Yeah. Because I forgot what my father looked like. I forgot my own child who looked just like me. Wow. I forgot his name. But you still had that love for trucking. I still had a love for trucking. I could tell you, you can sit here and tell me, hey, I'm going down I-40 right now. I'm just coming out of Jackson, Tennessee. Yeah. And I can say, okay, what do you see around you? Yeah. You can tell me where I just passed 2 rest areas. Yeah. Just like pull-off spots. Oh, you're right there by the 101. Yeah. Well, if you're looking for fuel, just past that, about a mile and a half of the road is the 101 north, sit on the right side. Yes. North side of the highway. Yeah. And further down, you got the 116. Yeah. Now they get good barbecue up there by the Dairy Queen right next to it. Okay. Okay. I can tell you all that stuff. Which I can vouch for that because he's not lying. He actually was assisting me with the lease purchase side over there with RE Garrison. He was my go-to guy. Whenever I had any issues, if I was in some foreign place, no lie, I would pick up the phone and call Prince, and he would tell me exactly that. What's around you? What street are you on? And he just guided me from there. So he ain't lying when he say that now. He ain't lying. Yeah. To a lot of people, I met a lot of younger truck drivers. They don't know how to read the map. Yeah. I was in one of those last few classes where you actually had to. The atlas. Plan. You had to have an atlas. Yes. There was no such thing as a GPS. Yes. You had to be able to read a map, but you also had to be able to read the road. Yeah. To know when you were on a truck route. Yeah. And there's no markings. How do you know? Right. I was sitting in the back. I was asleep in the back of the truck while somebody else was driving. He asked everybody. He said, "Prince, do you know if we're on a truck route or not? How can you tell?" He opened my eyes and said, "Look at the trees." Because you could tell the trees. They're shaved off, right? Like a box. Yeah, they're shaved off. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. I said that. I used to say that a lot on my channel. Like, you can tell if this road has trucks coming down it because the trees are shaped at the top like a box. Like, literally, I say this all the time. I thought I was going crazy. No, that's a God's truth. Yes. I can tell anybody. Wherever there's a bus route, that is a truck route. Okay. Good info to know. A bus and a truck are basically the same thing. True. One just sits lower to the ground.
True. Wow, that's good advice. That's great advice, Prince.
It's a simple thing. You don't have to really just say, "Oh, this, that, and the third."
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
if you're hauling hazmat, no matter where you are, if you're coming through Indianapolis, you cannot drive your truck straight down 70. You have to take the bypass.
True.
Just like in Dallas, for example. You can't drive straight downtown. Downtown Dallas, that is.
Yeah.
You have to take 820 or 620, wherever it is around.
Yeah.
But you can cut through Fort Worth with the hazmat.
Okay.
Because you have a lot of companies, hazmat companies along I-30 that's in that route.
Gotcha.
It's not been too long since 830. It's 8:30 here.
It's 7:30 over here. You said it's 8:30 over there?
No.
Oh, you talking about that?
Bypass.
Oh, the bypass. Okay.
Yeah, see, Fort Worth, you can come through middle of 30 to go out, but you can't go through the middle of Dallas.
I think
a lot of people don't know. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
I'm just saying, a lot of people don't realize that with hazmat.
Yeah.
So it's very using your head,
right,
and not overthinking.
Common sense type of thing.
That's all trucking is common sense.
But
if you see a sign that says 11-6, low overpass,
why would you go?
Don't simply say, "Oh, well, they just paved the road."
Yeah. Well,
that makes no sense.
Common sense ain't so common these days. So But I think that is pretty dope. The fact that this such a tragic situation happened to you, and you've been off the road for so long, and you still have that knowledge that you have. You can just call off something right off the rip, right off the dome. I think that's pretty unique. I think that's dope. I commend you for your strength and for your love of trucking. Who don't love a good trucker? A lot of these truck drivers, to me, in my opinion, some of them are in it for trucking, some not so much. And then, we're coming into new times, and you got technology now. Such I'm a blogger. You got content creators, and sometimes we get caught up in the riffraff of the whole commotion of it. They think that just because we're a content creator that we don't have the passion and the love for trucking. We're just doing it for likes and subscribes. And I don't think that's fair. But that's neither here nor there. I definitely do appreciate, everything that you have done for the world, for the trucking industry. And I just commend you. My hats go off to you for your strength.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's why I've been trying to reinvent myself in trucking. I've gone back to school to finish my degree in logistics and warehouse management.
Okay.
I've also done some work dispatching on the side, kind of like how I mentioned.
Yeah.
I've ventured into a lot of these companies now. I'm working with you guys so hard that you don't have time to pre-plan your trips.
Right.
So I offer that service as well. So
nice.
It's something that I will say I don't force upon people, because at the same time, my love is so great for it. Sometimes I have trouble charging people for it.
Yeah. But you're so damn good at it.
Yeah, I am. I do it in my sleep. I do it 24/7.
Yeah, you like me though. I like to tell people the game is to be told, not sold. It's enough for all of us to eat, and I want to see us all win. I don't give a damn who comes first. And a lot of people don't share the knowledge. A lot of people won't do that because they're stuck selfish. Greed. It's like it's okay to share that knowledge, especially when you had your time. You got a whole new generation of drivers that's coming in that need a wise mentor to help guide them so they can be better truck drivers. I don't see why that should have a dollar sign behind it, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of how I operate. I mean, like, for my services, I offer affordable rate. I'm trying to bust nobody's head. everybody has to.
Right.
There have been times where I do the work just because I'm going to do the work. I don't want to pay you.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Just if you have a good week and you feel like you can bless somebody,
do it.
But other than that, I love what I do.
That's what's up.
I think I put myself, I know I put about maybe 10 years, I want to say 15 years I was on the road, 16 years I was on the road. I think I put about maybe 100 people through driving school.
Nice. See, that's what's up.
It wasn't something it wasn't nothing that I was bragging about, but it was something where, we're going to go to this quick program and get there. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to go, you're going to be forced to something. You're going to be stuck with, my nephew was one of them. He said, no, look, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go here. And I said, well, what are you going to drive?
Yeah.
They're going to train you on automatic. So don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're restricting yourself.
For real.
And he's at Old Dominion right now.
Nice.
And he says most of their trucks are automatics. Yeah. But him and a few other drivers are still driving the manuals. Right. Because he says they ride so different. And he was like, when the automatic breaks down, all they have to back them up are manuals. And half of them can't touch them. Can't touch them. A lot of these states is doing the restrictions now on the license. I got lucky enough to get in the game before they started putting restrictions on these licenses. So my CDL, I can jump in automatic or a manual at any given time. And I'm so nice that this shit, I never knew how to drive a stick until I got into a tractor trailer. And it just came naturally. Okay. And one thing about it, a stick is single clutch. A car is single clutch. A tractor trailer is double clutch. And I learned how to drive a stick, a manual, for the very first time on a 13-speed long nose international. And I got so nice at it to where I learned how to float them gears and everything. And I get a lot of assholes, a lot of little bed bugs on my channel that love to call me a steering wheel holder, which I'm cool with that. I'm cool. But bitch, if I want to jump in a manual and show you some shit, I can't. I don't have restrictions on my license. At the end of the day, if you want to call me a steering wheel holder for driving a Freightliner automatic, bitch, so fucking be it. But I know my credentials. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I can do and what I can't do. And at the end of the day, if you want that title to say I'm a big truck driver because you fucking shift the gear, have it. But I know what I can and can't do. I don't have any restrictions on my license. Yeah. Let me say this to everybody that's listening to me. If y'all fuckers are complaining about not making money in the trucking industry, it's your damn fault. Let me bring that back. Okay. It's your damn fault. Period. Being home every day, it sounds good, but you're not gonna bring home $2,000 every day. No, fuck no. Running box truck and that's not truck driving for one. No, it's not. So don't let me catch you. Don't let me catch you parked in the parking lot with the 18 wheelers. But they do it. So disrespectful. Maybe they do it. They do it. But I will say this: if you want to get out here and you want to make some money, specialize. Specialize. Get your doubles, get your triples, get your hazmat, get your twig. Tankers. Oh, tankers too, yeah. But I forgot some of you guys are your criminal records are so fucked up, like your driving record, or you're smoking too much weed and you can't do everything right. Okay, talk about it. Hey, I'm just speaking of facts. Well, yeah, it's true shit. I've messed around. I specialize in hazmat. Hazmat and tank. And I work less. I used to live around 2,100 miles a week and bring home 10 bands. Nice. Every other day off on the weekends, while everybody else is all better. I had to be at the rail yard at 4:30 this morning.
Yeah.
They didn't get my box off the train until about 8:30.
Yeah.
And I had to rush and get back.
Mm-hmm.
All they did went to Nashville and came back.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about it.
Nice.
Specialize.
Nice.
Stop being a pussy. Excuse the terms.
Nah, baby, because
stop being a pussy. Get off the couch.
I know it. I like to say trucking ain't for sissies.
It ain't for sissies.
That's just it.
No offense.
No offense.
I don't want to call nobody a sissy, but
I do.
If that's your lifestyle, that's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
But these new drivers come out with too many restrictions on their own.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't go here. I don't go there.
Yeah.
I had a dude tell me, living in Memphis,
mm-hmm.
I only want to run from Memphis to Nashville, back to Memphis.
Mm. And this is someone who has less than a year under their belt.
Yeah. The only thing that does that back and forth is container.
Mm-hmm.
And he found a container job to do that. But guess what?
Mm-hmm. You ain't making no money.
He ain't making no money.
Mm-hmm.
And he working like a Hebrew slave
mm-hmm.
on the third shift.
Mm. Yeah.
Stop. Get your CDL and stop saying what you're not going to do.
Exactly.
Go out here and do everything up front first. Mm-hmm. Because as long as you have that experience, even if it's 3 to 6 months, you have that experience. Mm-hmm. Now you have some play in the game.
Exactly. Later on in the life that I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that comes into play. But first getting into the game, you most definitely got to put in that groundwork. People think that just entering into the trucking industry, you're going to make money. You're going to make all this money. I don't understand where y'all get that from. But you're not going to come into the game and make the same thing that a driver that's been driving 5-10 years been making. You got that time, that experience is what it is when it comes to trucking.
Yeah, that 60. Oh man, they give me 60 cents a mile to come drive over there for them. Mm-hmm. Buddy, look, y'all can brag about that all you want to. Uh-huh. I came in a truck driver in 2004.
Yeah.
I was splitting 20-something cents a mile.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't even make it when I started my solo run. I think we were making like 27, 28 cents per mile.
Wow, that's so long ago.
Now that's 2004, but let me tell you this: I worked 6 months. When I got my form at the end of the year, do you know how much money I made from June?
I can imagine.
Until the end of December.
I can imagine.
Half a year, sweetheart, and it was already $60-some thousand as a company job.
Nice. The game changed a lot. It has. So
it has.
We can go on and on and on. But
I got a question for you, love.
Yes.
Now, how much is this ride charging people right back in the backseat after this all gas talk?
You know what?
I'm trying to see if you turned off the meter.
No. The meter's still rolling. The meter is still rolling. This is going to I know you touched somebody in with your story. This your testimony. You did, and that's it. You can't put no dollar sign behind this. This is wisdom. Okay. You can't put a dollar sign behind wisdom. And you are one of those drivers that the industry needs. So look at it like that, as a hidden gem for the backseat.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You are a living legend, because this is actually my first episode. So this is a very special episode for me, very unique, very everything, because I'm also going to dive into why I got out of the truck. I'm probably going to drop some tears later. Who knows? But you're creating history with me. So you are a gem for me, for yourself. And look at it like that. Like later on, shit, we going to be running up them racks. I definitely got to take you out for a steak dinner or something.
Oh shit! You didn't set up a thing.
And I know they call you big star, right?
For a reason.
They don't call you that.
6'6",
okay.
250.
Okay. You like
I might have one leg, but you call me big stick too. If you want to.
let's get into this last question because you was a mess. The last question would be, what would you say to another driver who's thinking about leaving the game but feels stuck, scared, or unsure of what's next?
Pray about it.
Nice.
Pray about it first,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not going to be an easy decision.
Right.
Just when you get ready to leave trucking, uh, have an understanding that whatever you do,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be nowhere near the freedom,
Mm-hmm.
the joy
Mm-hmm.
that you experience in trucking.
That's true.
And that's okay.
It is okay.
It's okay,
Mm-hmm.
because we all have to do stuff for reasons
True.
that we don't understand, but you got to trust and believe God has a plan.
True. Walk by faith, not by
You know?
sight.
Right. I've been sitting here, what was it, 7 years,
Mm-hmm.
8 years, came up 8 years before I even got my first job
Wow.
after trucking.
Wow.
Now, they let me go here a couple months ago, but I'm working a job that's paying less than I've ever made in my whole entire life, $10 an hour.
Ouch.
But at the same time, I'm struggling,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm still happy, because when I look back on my time in the game, I have no regrets.
Nice.
I still have those memories when I thought I didn't have any memories.
Yeah.
I could close my eyes and see the first time I ever saw a moose tear up a Peterbilt on the highway and laughing.
Yeah.
I still remember the fun things, and I remember the tragic things.
Mm-hmm.
The first accident I ever rode across, my second day of driving a truck, and having a man die in my hands.
Damn.
You know, those are the things that have made my career, because I'm happy to know that my time in taught me how to be a better husband, better father, better son, a better friend, but overall a better person.
Right.
Even though there were times where, I may have got into an argument with a driver over CD, over some crazy shit, but we all do it.
Sure.
But knowing that 20 miles down the road, I run across that driver, and that driver, hey, driver, I'm just bullshit with you, man. Let's go ahead and have a coffee.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get a fountain drink or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Sure.
People try to put race into trucking. It's a black thing, or the white boys this, or the black folks this, or town heads this. When you get behind the wheel, it doesn't matter who you are. If somebody runs a truck off the road, you know what's going to happen? Let another truck driver see this shit.
We're going to come together.
Four-wheeler on car, we going to whoop that ass.
Yeah. We do have
flatbed going to pull over some chains and some straps.
Yeah.
Because
at the end of the day,
driver going to grab some shit. Come whoop that ass.
Because at the end
we
of
are
the
a family.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. At the end of the day, we do have something in common. And that's pretty dope. But that wasn't just an interview. Thank you, Big Star. That was a moment. Thank you for being vulnerable with me and the tribe. I know you reminded someone out there that they are not alone. Tell the people where they can support you, send love, or follow your journey.
Hey, just you can follow me on TikTok. What is my TikTok?
What is your TikTok?
What is my TikTok? That's a good question. My TikTok is, I believe it's Print Star.
Print Star. PRINCESTA. Is it 2 R's or 1?
Oh, it's 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours, right?
Because everything we do is big around here. You better know it.
Right. If you can't be find me at Prince Star, do my TikTok is at BIGGSTARR91. Big Star 91. Like I said, that's big with 2 hours. There's Star with 2 hours, 91 at TikTok. You can find me on there, message me. Hey, if you guys need some help with anything involving planning or just someone to even talk to while you're on the road, hey, get your boy a hit up on there. On Facebook, I'm Prince J Star. Prince J Star on Facebook. Man, hit me up in Messenger with just how you can. If you can't reach me any other way, get in touch with my lady here. She'll hook you up with me. And,
For sure.
We can make something happen. If you want to support your boy, I know I'm going to put my stuff out there.
Go on and do it. Shit.
$, Prince Star, $PRINCESTARR on, what's that thing
Is
called?
that Cash App?
Cash App.
Okay, Cash App.
Yeah, Cash App. It'll be the lion with the crown on it, black and white. It'll be your boy.
All right. Y'all heard it first here on the Backseat with Luck. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us, driver. You make sure you take care of your heart and your peace, cousin. We got you from here. 10-4, cousin. Yes, you guys, that was such a treat. My guy Prince is something special. You feel me? And if his story touched you in any way, like he said, reach out to him on any of his platforms. I will drop that in the subtitles down below so you can reach him. He is very resourceful. I used him personally for my own personal needs when it comes to trucking. He helped me along the way a lot as I was at Garrison with the whole lease purchase thing. He's very he's very familiar with the owner operator side, and like he said, he wasn't lying. He do know a lot about the highways and shit, and he can do it with his eyes closed. That's not an understatement. I actually seen the man in action. So if you are one of those drivers who are new to the game, or if you're a vet and you actually need some assistance, you need help, because like he said, they work us so hard that sometimes we don't have time to pre-plan. He's good with pre-planning. He's good with fuel, getting you the cheapest fuel at the cheapest spots. Like, the man is really nice at what he do. So make sure you go holler at my man, Big Star, better known as Prince. All right, enough of me rambling on about that. That interview was freaking awesome. But right now, let's dive into the main topic, the backseat breakdown. Why quitting trucking doesn't mean quitting the mission. Okay, so let's get right into it, cousin. Because just because the wheels stopped turning, don't mean the mission did. The truck was never the mission. It was just a tool. So many drivers confuse what they do with why they're here. Those are two different things. Okay, trucking taught you discipline. It taught you grind and focus. But the real calling might be bigger than logistics. Here's a little saying that I like to say. Just because the tool is part doesn't mean the purpose is gone. Okay? Quitting don't mean you're failing. It might just mean you're graduating. Have you ever thought about it like that? Let's normalize outgrowing a season without guilt. Shit, look at me. I walked away from the truck, and I most definitely felt guilty about it. After all this time I invested in the game, this brand that I built around the truck for myself, I promise you it was not a good feeling saying goodbye. But listen, I didn't leave trucking. Trucking left me on read one too many times, so I had to exit left. Now, the mission is what you take with you. Okay? You're still serving people. You're still building a legacy. Like Big Star, you're still storytelling. Whether you're podcasting, teaching, healing, parenting, or creating, the mission moves with you. Okay? Trucking gave me a voice. And now the back seat gives the voice a mic. See how that works? I don't know which one of my cousins need to hear this, but the load might change, but you still deliver. We went from delivering freight to delivering faith, wisdom, healing, knowledge, and joy. Now that's a heavy load. You're more than the miles you've driven. Okay, now let's talk about it. If we really cousins, we can talk about this thing. Let's talk about identity, how we attach worth to hustle. There's more to life than just working and paying bills. Okay, and there's more to life than just that DOT clock. Let me ask you this. Who are you when those keys aren't in your hand? I'll wait. That's where the real power starts. I want you to drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know, what's your mission beyond the miles? Now, my story happens to be pretty extensive when it comes to the trucking industry. Now, there's a lot of you who have been riding with me since day one. Okay, you know my story, you know my journey. So I'm gonna kind of try to make this as brief as I can. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome to the Honey Tribe. We are glad you are here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here, Bookie. And we love that for you for real bad. Okay, just to give you a quick little refresher of my background. I started in the trucking industry in 2015. I drove from 2015 to 2020, and then I got out of the truck. I took a little break. Okay, I drove for a lot of mega companies such as JB Hunt, Snyder, Warner, Hogan, Ryder. I did Spot. I did shuttling for Laser Spot. Celadon is a school that I started with over there in Indianapolis, Indiana. They no longer exist, thank God. But I started off with them, and I kind of bounced around a lot, which I'm not happy to say that. You know, that's not something to brag about. But with trucking, it isn't about how many jobs you have. It's about the experience that you build behind your belt type shit, if that makes sense. Okay. I did brush up on a few things when we were talking to our guest friends, but that just goes back to telling you my story about, you know, the trucking industry. Now, I took a break from 2020 to last year, 2024. And then that's when I recently came back into the game. When I came back, I originally just came back just to get back on my feet because I was in a fucked up financial situation. I ain't gonna hold you. One thing about me, baby, I keeps it all the way 100 with y'all. I keep it a buck. I keep it raw. Ain't no filters, uncut. I'm gonna tell you like it is. Okay, that's just it. But I was in a fucked up financial situation, and the only way that I knew how to get back on my feet was to jump in a truck. That's all I really knew. I only worked in 2 industries in my life, and before I started trucking, I was a bartender. So those were the only 2 things that I knew. And I knew trucking. One thing about it, baby, every time I fell on my ass, trucking got me back within just like that, like a month. So I'm like, let me just jump back in and get back on my feet, and then I'm going to continue doing what I was doing. Now, in those 3 years' time, I had been content creating. I had started my YouTube channel, and that's a story inside of a story on how the creation of Lady Luck and my YouTube channel started. We'll save that for another time and another topic. But I'm not new to trucking. I'm not new to YouTube. I had been doing this shit. All right. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this thing. You feel me? So I had been content creating. I am into comedy. I'm not a comedian. I don't like to say I'm a comedian. I just like to say I'm one of the favorite cousins at the barbecue that everybody like to sit next to type shit. I'm going to pop my shit. I'm going to make you laugh. We're going to catch a vibe at the end of the day. Okay. That's just it. That's all. So in those three-year time span that I took off, I was creating. I had my head down. I had a makeshift office in my home, in my room. And I literally for 3 years straight would get up and I would go into my office and I would create. Okay. And that was the birth of Lady Luck. and this YouTube channel that you are looking at right now. Okay, so things got a little rough for me. I was homeless. I was sleeping from pillow to post. I was broke. I didn't have it was just fucked up. Okay. So I always had my CDL though. I was just being stubborn at the time and I did not want to get back in the truck. I feel like my time has expired when it comes to the truck. So I bit the bullet and I got back in the truck. Okay. I started with CRST back in 2024, February of 2024. Now, I didn't actually work for CRST because, well, when I say work, I didn't actually drive for CRST. I went to orientation. I was living in Chicago at the time. They sent me a rental to go to drive to Iowa, I want to say. Don't quote me. I can't remember. But we had orientation up there. I stayed up there for 3 days. I came suited and booted. I took everything out of my apartment that I was staying in over there in Chicago, threw it all in the storage unit, packed my bags. I came ready to roll. Okay. When I got to CRST, they did not have any female trainers for me to go over the road. For me, I only request female trainers. All right. I have a thing and I just have a thing. Okay. And my preference was just female trainers. They didn't have any female trainers available. So I had to sit around waiting for them to give me a trainer, find me a trainer. They only had 2 female trainers at the time. One of them was out on medical leave and the other one had students lined up. So I was basically in a line, okay, waiting to be trained, which for me, and this is the part that I didn't appreciate. I had 5 years under my belt, Cookie. I am not a rookie. I'm not a new driver. I am considered an experienced driver. I'm not understanding why you bitches is making me go get back in the truck and train with a motherfucker when I done been there and done that type shit. I didn't appreciate this, but it's been too much time that has passed by in that gap. And when I came back, the trucking industry changed dramatically. Okay. So unfortunately, I had to go back over the road with a trainer. The trainer took entirely too long, so I quit. I waited for a trainer for approximately a month and maybe a week, okay? And the whole time that I was waiting, up until that last week, they paid me $550 for waiting, which was pretty cool on their behalf. I haven't really heard too many bad things about CRST. I don't know. I can't really speak on them, but I do know that they took care of me for the little bit of time being that I was there. Fast forward into the next company. Okay, so I ended up going with Western Express, aka Welfare Express. I like to call them that. For you guys who's been following me, y'all already know what's up. But yeah, Welfare Express, honey. When I went and got hired for them, they pretty much hire anybody. As long as you don't hit a bridge, baby, you don't tear no shit up. A bridge. That's it. If you don't hit a bridge, you are hired. Consider yourself hired. I drove for them for 7 months. I was in a lease purchase program with them till I got tired of it. And at that point, I was living on the road. I didn't have a crib. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a man. My daughter's big and grown. She's 18 at the time. I don't have a bunch of little kids dragging behind me. So I was just living freely off the road. No bills, just living. Okay. And I quit Welfare Express because it was just getting overly overwhelming. I was working, always on the grind. Holidays, birthdays, I was on the road grinding. And I'm really not making no money-uns for real. If you know about Welfare Express, baby. You ain't making no real money fucking over there fucking off with them folks. But and I was lease purchase and I thought I was doing something big by doing lease purchase, but baby, I wasn't doing a bitch ass thing. All lease purchase is a glorified company driver. That is it. I'm going to be the first one to tell you. Don't think you're doing something big and something special because you're a lease purchase. Because, baby, you ain't doing nothing but being a slave for that fucking company. Okay? You're paying off a truck that don't make sense. And we'll get into that on another topic. Okay? We got another episode on lease purchase. I'm not going to get into all that right now. But, okay, so after I invested over 20 grand into this truck. I stayed with them for 7 months. They have something called an escrow account where they take a percentage out of your check and they put it into this escrow account. And supposedly, when you return these folks back their equipment in one piece, you are supposed to be able to get your money back. Everything that's in the escrow account. Baby, no. I caught myself doing everything right. I turned the truck in, did everything right or whatever. Took it to Nashville, cleaned it out, took pictures, video, all of that. Okay. I had about $6,000 in that escrow account. And do you know, they got me for all 6,000 down to the cents. And I did everything right. They got me. So the payments for the truck was about 20,000. Okay. Plus, and then you can add on that 6,000, a little bit over 6,000 onto that little check. Okay. That's how much I lost doing lease purchase with Welfare Express. Fast forward to the next company. Now, with Welfare Express, I was dry. I was in the dry division and I was OTR. Okay, I did everything on the east of Mississippi River. I was up and down the East Coast. Way up, the furthest I went up was Maine. Furthest I've been down was Florida, Miami. Yeah, Miami. And so when I got over with Martin, they were more low key. They were more laid back. So I thought I went with them. I was on the Southeast regional account pulling drive-in. Okay. I was home every weekend for a 34-hour reset. Now they'll tell you that you're home every weekend, but you're not home the whole weekend. You're only home for a 34-hour reset, which is like a day and a half. And we'll talk about Martin later in another episode. Okay, I'm just giving you a brief storyline about what happened. Okay. I stayed with them for, I think, 3 months or 4 months. It was bullshit on top of bullshit over bullshit. I ran through 4 DMs in 3 months. I had the drivers over there don't know how to mind their motherfucking business. I had drivers snitching on me, trying to get me fired. Now, a thing with Martin is if you run a red light, automatic termination. Now, I had did a video where I had jammed a bunch of clips from a bunch of different companies into one video, and I posted it. This particular video, I had ran a red light in the video, and one of the Martin drivers went and took the video and sent it into safety, trying to get me fired. I know it was a female. It was a bitch. Okay. Because the conversation that I had with the safety bitch, she ended up telling me that it was a chick. She told me that the chick sent the video to her at 10 o'clock at night. And then the caption said, "So this what we doing now?" That goes to tell you how petty the motherfuckers was. But I had been ruffling all kind of feathers over there at Martin Transport, honey. They was not feeling you, girl. I don't know if my foot was on next or what the pressure was about, what the smoke was all about, but I had beef with them drivers over there. I don't know what the fuck was going on, okay? They were snitches. They don't know how to mind their motherfucking business. And it was just hell on wheels, okay? Not to mention the drama with the dispatchers. Got into it with one of the dispatchers. The bitch name was Shelly. We'll get into that later too. That's another topic for another episode. But yeah, I had got into it with this bitch, and it just was hell on top of hell on top of hell. Now, I'm going home every weekend for my 34-hour reset. But mind you, I still don't have a home to go to. I'm still fresh off the road, which I don't have a car. I don't have a home to go to. So I'm hotel to hotel every weekend that I go home. It started to wear me down, started to wear my pockets down. Martin has the guaranteed $1,100 pay for the division that I was on. But baby, when I say they make you work for that little $1,100, like a Hebrew motherfucking slave. Okay, so it was wear and tearing on my pockets. Now, fast forward, I end up finding a crib, which here, voila, I am hosting a podcast show in my office, which is in my house. So shouts out to Martin for that. Everything wasn't all bad with Martin. I did have some blessings come out of each company that I work for. So I'm not even going to be, ungrateful and be salty and shit. So I just got to a point where I couldn't take it no more with Martin. It's been a lot. Like, the truck does something to you emotionally, physically, and mentally. There was a lot of things mentally that was going on with me behind the scenes that a lot of you all did not know about. I had spent Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's in the truck working by myself. So I was depressed. I was kind of in a dark space in my life. So the first weekend that I got off and I had a couple dollars to play with, which was January 6th, after the New Year's, after the whole holiday thing and stuff, I actually wanted to go out and be around people. I wanted to be sociable. I wanted to do the human being thing because I just felt like out of touch with the world being in that truck, so that's what I did. I got suited and booted and got cute. Went to a Juicy Crab and had me a little seafood boil, had me a couple of drinks. Then I drove to the south side of Atlanta, Riverdale, which where I reside. And I went to a bar. I sat there for a little while. I was politicking, watching the game. Long story short, by the end of the night, 2 a.m., I found myself in a jail cell. I ended up getting into an altercation with two females over something so stupid, over a seat. Okay. I was out of touch with my emotions, with my feelings. I let my feelings get the best of me. And the truck was just doing something to me real bad. Mentally, it was doing something to me. I found myself cursing a lot. I felt myself being angry a lot. And this particular time that I got locked up, I blacked out. And that was like an aha moment for me. Because it's like, what's going on with you, sis? I don't like to claim depression. I don't like to claim being stressed out. I don't like to claim being broke. Okay. You are what you attract. So those are things that I don't like to claim. But I knew something was wrong with me when I blacked out. And I let my emotions get the best of me and caused me to go to jail. I got locked up and I was there for 2 or 3 days. And then I got bonded out. And I went straight to work. I thought, my job is done. Call my job. My job. That's all I was thinking about. It's my fucking job. And this was Martin. Do you know when I got out of jail, I called safety. Talked to safety. Nicole was the bitch name. Nikki. And do you know that she wasn't even pressed about me being locked up? She said, did it affect your license? I said, no, because I wasn't driving. I was about to beat a bitch ass. That was it. And she said, well, as long as it didn't affect your license, shit, you good. But I've been meaning to talk to you. Your videos are the topic of discussion right now. They're a hot commodity. I'm like, what you mean? She goes to proceed to say that I don't know if this was the same driver or another driver. Took another video and went a step further and sent the shit to corporate this time. First it was safety, now it's corporate. So now I'm on the radar of corporate now. I got the drivers on my ass. Now I got dispatch on my ass. Now I got the fucking corporate on my ass. It was a lose-lose situation. My back was up against the wall. I had called off and excuse me. When I came back, my fleet manager, Luke, at the time, he was being real weird. Go into HR and talk to Nikki. Baby, one thing about it that I've learned over there in Martin, when they call you in that office, it's either one or two things happening. They about to fire your black ass, and your ass ain't got to be black. Or they about to fire your ass. I don't care. I don't see any other way around that. Okay, so before I could make it to that office, I resigned. And this is what we were talking about earlier in the video with me and Prince. I resigned. I let them know I gotta go because I already know what y'all about to do when I go in this office. I will not give you guys the opportunity to fire me, to put some fuck shit on my DAC report. I resigned. Fast forward to the next company. Now, I don't learn my lesson off these last two companies. I'm not broadcasting the company that I work for. I'm not doing that. Because I don't know who the fuck watching me, who's plotting on me, who's hating on me, who's what. I don't fucking know, and I ain't trying to find the fuck out. You feel me? So I'm not broadcasting Garrison. I'm not doing that. And I had so many drivers being fucking messy, and it was men. It wasn't females. It was men, which makes it even more sad and fucking pathetic. Okay? That was coming for me. And I'm just like, look, I've been through a lot. Okay? And it's a lot of this shit that I don't tell y'all. Okay? I still get on this internet and I smile and I make you guys laugh and I give you guys motivation. I lift you up and I vlog and I edit and I'm still all of this going on and I'm having a mental breakdown. Nobody knows this. Do anybody care? Honestly, I don't know. I don't really think so, for real. One thing about this internet, it has given people a backbone to be someone they're not in real life. So a lot of the things that you fuckers were saying to me online, I can guarantee you would have never said to me if you saw me personal in my face to face. And I ain't gonna sit here and talk like I'm the baddest thing moving, but I'm one not. I don't play with people. I don't play with people's kids either. Okay, take it how you take it, but that's just how that goes. Okay, so I'm dealing with the pressure of all of this stuff. My world is twirling around going, I don't know which direction to go in. Now I'm like, fuck it, I'm about to just walk back into this lease and have a little bit more leeway and, hopefully things work out better. It was red flags from the gate going into RE Garrison. When I first got to orientation started on a Monday. I got there on a Sunday. Coleman, Alabama. First red flag, that is a sundown town. I don't give a fuck what you say. It's a sundown town. They don't like niggas. Okay, I was happy as hell when I seen one nigga over there while I was in orientation. I was so uneasy on the edge of my seat when I was in orientation the whole time. I just didn't feel right. And you can feel it in your spirit before you feel it, before it actually comes into play. Okay, it wasn't feeling right. Now, when I got to orientation, walking in on Monday, I'm going to keep it all the way a buck with you. The man said, look, I'm going to be honest with y'all. We ain't got no trucks. Huh? First red flag. Okay. They had no trucks. It was like 16 of us in orientation. They had no trucks. How the fuck do you have all of these orientations every Monday and you bitches ain't got no trucks? It's moving backwards. That's working ass backwards. But okay, cool. I'm trying to do something better for myself. I'm going to go with it. I like the fact that the man came in the orientation. He kept it a buck with us the whole time. They weren't feeding us bullshit and a whole bunch of lies and all this shit. He kept it a buck. And I respected that. That's what helped me stick around as long as I did. Moving forward on to the days of orientation, leading out of the days of orientation. Orientation is held for 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday, you get in there, you already do your videos and all of that stuff before you even get to orientation. Okay, so there was not a lot of paperwork. There was not a lot of this and that. It was a whole lot of talking and a whole lot of eating. That was it. Okay, they're going to feed you them groceries. One thing about it, they eat over there and I ain't mad at it. Okay, so boom. Monday, you're supposed to get your seat. You're supposed to get seated in your truck. Mind you, they don't have any trucks. Monday went by, Tuesday went by, Wednesday went by. He's still dragging orientation along with their fingers crossed. They don't know which way they going. They're like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off. They don't know what the fuck going on. Okay, I still went with it. So at this point, Wednesday comes, Thursday comes, still no truck. So now at this point, they're sending drivers out to go recover trucks. Okay, they sent 3 drivers to west. I'm not sure exactly where they went. I went south. I drove 9 hours from their terminal, their main domicile in Coleman, Alabama, and drove all the way down to Dade City, Florida. I think I got that right. To check out a KW. Now I'm a freaking fanatic for KWs. That's why I went to Martin, because I wanted a KW and I ended up with a Freightliner. Ain't that some bullshit? I know, right? But yeah, so I get all the way down there. The truck is disgusting. What the fuck is this? It got electrical problems. No fucking thing. Okay. Drove from Dade City, Florida, all the way to Jackson, Georgia for a truck that I picked up, which was the yellow truck that you all saw. Picked that truck up. I was told that the truck only had 400,000 miles on it. When I actually cranked the truck up, it had over 500,000 miles on it. Lies. Another red flag. Okay. Now, when I got to driving the truck, I signed my lease, all that good stuff. I get down the road and the dash lights up like a Christmas tree. The ABS is fucked up. This is that. The check engine light wasn't on, but every light that had to do with the brake system was on. I drove around for 3 weeks straight, foot to the pedal, no cruise control. Their trucks are governor at 70, 65 on the pedal, 70 on cruise control. I didn't get to use the cruise control for 3 weeks because of the system, the truck being fucked up. Okay. Second red flag. When I got in the truck, It was a girl who had that truck before me. I'm not going to say her name, but her contract was still in my permit book. She was only in that truck for a month. I kid you not. And I was like, well, then what happened? I wonder what happened. Not none of my business. It just raised red flags for me. Okay, moving forward. Now I'm pulling reefer now. I got to pay for the fuel in the reefer. I'm pulling frozen chicken guts and shit, rib cages, paws and blood and shit. Every time that truck needs to be washed out, I have to pay $40 to get it cleaned out. That's my responsibility. They give you 30-day warranty that fix the major components on the truck. Just the major components, okay? I ended up getting there within that time frame and got it fixed. What else happened? Fast forward. My DM was talking to me crazy. The first week I got with that man, I went from a fleet manager who was over communicative over at Martin to one that don't communicate at all. This motherfucker barely answers the phone when I call. I'm barely able to get in contact with him. The bitch wouldn't shit for real. Talk to me crazy. Okay? Pick up the phone huffing and puffing and shit. My first week, I'm like, ooh, I thought he was having a moment. First day went by, he did it. Pick up the phone, this is that. Second day, did it again. Huffing and puffing. I'm like, am I bothering you? The fuck? If anybody need to be huffing and puffing, it needs to be motherfucking me. I've been trying to get in contact with your ass all morning. It's 12 o'clock. Okay, bumping heads, steady bumping heads, steady bumping heads. Now, I will say, everybody has a strength and a weakness. His strength was the munions. He knew how to get you the munions. I was getting a lot of $1,000 loads, and I was doing maybe less than 300 miles, which is awesome. But his attitude was fucked up. His communication skills was fucked up. I don't know if this nigga had an issue with females or what the fuck the bitch problem was. If he was gay, I don't fucking know. But I know every chick that I talked to that had him, he had a problem with him. Okay. I thought I was tripping at first till I ran into another chick that had the same issue. I'm like, is the bitch gay? I don't know. But boom, get another fleet manager. Now my munions go from $1,000 loads to $400 loads, $600 loads. I kid you not, I only got a good 3 good checks from R.E. Garrison. The first 2. The first one was $1,400, which I was shocked because I was struggling to get a truck and get a load in. Second check was $2,000. This is after taxes, after my fuel and the payment and all of that shit. After all of that, $2,000. From there, the next check was $400. The next one was $100. The next one was about $100. It just went down from there. So now it's just been a bunch of bullshit. After I was receiving no monions on these checks, I'm struggling to eat. You know, I got bills at home. I got a family at home. I got to feed a child. I got to feed myself out here on this road. I'm fucking struggling at this point. Then boom, the truck cost me a total of $700 in 2 days. Fucking trying to get my load down the road and speeding and in the left lane. I ended up getting a ticket for $300. Okay. The next day, I end up coming home, parking at a Walmart over here by my house. I get a call from the people saying, hey, your truck is about to be towed. You got to pull up with $390 or $1,300 is what they're going to charge you once they pull the truck off. So I spent $390 on the tow to get now all the man had was my truck in the air. I had to pay him $390 just to put the bitch back on the ground. That's $400 in 2 days. Okay. Then I goes to pull my truck to the yard, which is 40 miles away from where I parked, and came back. The motherfucker towed my goddamn car. That's another $228. It was a mess. Okay. So at this point, my car towed, my nigga car is fucked up. My car fucked up the day before I was supposed to go to work. It was a mess. So I called off for the week because everything was all over the place. Shit was just hitting the fan left and right. Everything was just falling apart. Then I got the nerve to get back to the truck, and the motherfucker wouldn't start. The APU unit wouldn't start. The truck wouldn't start. There was nothing wrong with this truck before I left. I was only gone for 5 days. Everything was just hitting the fucking fan. And I'm like, as much as I love trucking, I love spreading wisdom. I love bringing joy to people's lives. I love the positive impact that I have on the world when it comes to me doing what I love most, I have to step away. It's like, it's so much more that is out there for me, and I can't do it from behind this truck. I can't. This thing is wearing me down mentally, physically, financially. And at some point, it's like, it's hurting me. It's hurting me more than it's helping me. And I promise you guys, this isn't easy for me. I have done a lot in these 2 years. It has been quite the roller coaster ride. I've met so many people, cool people. I've networked. I've spreaded so much wisdom. I've helped so many drivers along the way. I've helped so many people who are not drivers along the way. You know, just spreading my love and my light to the world. So don't get it twisted. This is not an easy transition for me. I was watching the video that I just posted about me quitting trucking, and honestly, it brought me to tears. It's like, it's like, wow, you came such a long ways. And my thing is, I don't want to feel like a quitter. I don't want to feel like I'm quitting. I don't want to let y'all down. That's what this feels like. But it's like, I'm not quitting. I'm quitting trucking, but I'm not quitting the mission. The mission still goes on. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving y'all. That's the last thing I'm going to do. But this thing is not easy for me, y'all. So this podcast is my new lane. This is my new baby. This is my new truck. The purpose. This is about purpose at the end of the day. This is not about trucking or me. Everybody has a different story. So that is my story in a nutshell. And before I start crying, I'm going to take a sip of this wine and we're going to carry on with the show. You dig? All right, cousin. Now, this part of the show is where I hush and let you talk. Y'all been hitting the honey hive check-in, and we got a couple cousins who left some voicemails with some inspiring words for your girl, or just simply inquiring about trucking questions. And listen, it's raw. Let's tap in with the tribe, starting with our first call from our cousin, Nicole.
Hi, Highway Honey. My name is Nicole. Phone number. And I have a quick question. Just wanting to know what you would do in this situation. And I enjoy your vlog. I really do. Um, I am a new truck driver. I hadn't got my truck yet, so I graduated a little over a month ago. I hadn't gotten my truck yet because of my blood pressure. Due to DOT regulations, it has to be under a certain number, and mine was elevated. But it was only due to the training that I received. I had some bad experiences with two trainers. I went through two, and then finished with a third, a young lady. I just needed 3 more days on the road with her. I just couldn't make it with my last trainer had caught a sinus infection because this truck was so filthy. He was filthy. It was really bad. But I pushed through because my first trainer didn't work out. I waited over a month to get the second trainer, which was filthy. It was a really bad work environment because our truck is our work environment. And for this person not to keep their truck clean and in a nice, clean, orderly fashion for his trainee, it was hard. The sleeping was terrible. The mattress was horrible. It was dirty. I mean, it was horrible. You know what I mean? It was just horrible. Flashback, girl. Flashback. So I'm an older lady, and this is something new to me, but it's something I was very interested in and went in and killed it. Nice. And but even though it was hard, it was very difficult. And but right now, like I said, I'm on medical hold. My blood pressure is slowly going down, thank God. Good. And I'll be back in there to have a check of it. And then once the doctor on the yard released me, then I get my truck. So I thought that I was told once I'm released, I would have to do my road training again, even though I did it, completed over 240 hours of driving, the mountains, backing, all of those things, and graduated. They're telling me that I need to redo the road training. I didn't have any issues with road training. Everyone, all of my trainers passed me, no problem. Everything was fine. So they're stated because I've been off the truck for 30 days. I don't know if that's one of their policies, the trucking company I'm going to work for, or
First things first, I am super sorry that you had to experience the bullshit that you experienced with these stinking booty ass drivers. Unfortunately, not everybody is the same. Not all drivers live the same. Not everybody take care of their ass the same. That's very unfortunate, but that's a part of the game. Like I said early in the show, trucking is not for sissies. And a lot of people think that trucking is a job and they think they're going to get out here and they're going to make all this money and his life is going to be great. No, it's not set up like that. Trucking is a lifestyle. This is an adjustment, okay? Not everybody lives the same. And that's a part of the game. And what's also a part of the game, like I spoke early in the show, some of these companies do require if too much time passes by, they will make you do that thing over type shit. It's very unfortunate, but they're probably on the money when it comes to you have to start all over, which is unfortunate. But sometimes you got to bite the bullet and do things that you don't want to do to get where you want to be. Does that make sense? Okay, good. I'm glad we got to understand. But thank you, Nicole. Thank you for dropping them jewels. Please don't get mad at me for dropping your jewels. You left a voicemail on the hotline and I never got to respond back to you. So here it is. All right. So let's get some messages. I have another cousin that reached out to me via text. Okay. This part of the show is where I will do shout outs. I will acknowledge any of my cousins from the Honey Tribe, whether it be DM, email, you call the hotline and let me know how you feel, comments on my comment section, any of the above, okay? So I did drop my blog today and I have received an enormous amount of heartfelt comments and messages from different drivers or different people from the tribe. So this one here came from my girl Val, the trucking goddess. She actually won one of our contests. She won a free hoodie. So shouts out to you, Bookie. But she says, "Hey girly, it's Val, the trucking goddess. I just watched your video and man, I got hit about a month ago and my truck was destroyed. I'm sorry to hear that. I got hurt bad and I'm taking off time too from trucking. Everything happens for a reason. I think this meant for me to take time out for myself and enjoy my life a little bit. It's definitely bittersweet, but something I needed. God got us, girl. You got to do what's best for you. I am here for the long time and not a short time. Hit me up, girl. Let's have that drink. Much love to you, queen. What God has for you is bigger and better. One monkey don't stop no show." I know that's right, Boogie. And you motherfucking right. One monkey don't stop no show. I'm so super, super sorry to hear about your accident that you got into. I hope you are doing well. But thank you for the love and support. You have been one of my valued tribe members from day one, and we love you so much, okay? Shout out to you. Kisses to you. Thank you. All right. Moving on, let's hear from another one of our cousins. This is a comment that was dropped on under my video from YouTube. This is Charlene 9302. She says, "Cousin, take care of yourself first. Always. But however, you motivated me on my trucking journey. And I'm out here now. Got my CDL, went through the training, and you keep pushing me, I'm going to keep pushing as well. Thank you so much. Keep me in your prayers as well. I'm still out here. We do a dangerous job every day and gotta make it home to my loved ones. Respect you much, Queen Cupcake. Well, first and foremost, I want to congratulate you on getting your CDL. Congratulations, Wookie, on your new trucking journey. I am super proud of you. I am super grateful to be able to help you on your journey and, give you that push that you needed. I'm super, super, super grateful for this journey for not only myself, but for you as well. All right, so shouts out to you. So let's go ahead and hear from one more of our cousins who chimed in.
How you doing? This is Al Smith. My phone number is 8. I want to commend you for what you're doing. You do a great job. You're a beautiful person. You got a heart of gold. That's what makes you so good about what you do. Don't let the negative a-holes get to you because of the fact they're going to do that. They want the attention. As soon as you make a comment, they know they've gotten to you. But anyhow, I just hope you have a great day, my dear. Need someone to talk to? Feel free to call me anytime. I'll be glad to help you out any way I can. Like I say, you're a beautiful woman. You do a great, great job out there. You're one of the best women out there for doing that. There's a few of you women out there that are good truckers. So that's all I'm going to say on that. But looking forward to hearing from you, dear. If I can help you out, I will. God bless you, and you have a great day.
Oh, so tearjerker. That is super sweet. See, that's what I'm saying is people like you all that give me the motivation to keep going. Throughout all the things that I went through on this journey, I kid you not, how I feed y'all was feeding me. Y'all helped me get through a lot when it comes to this trucking thing. Like the inspiring quotes and the words of inspirement and the things like that. That stuff kept me going. That was like fuel to my fire. So again, shouts out to each and every one of you who are a part of the Honey Tribe, who are here to help uplift me and want to keep seeing me do my thing. Like, y'all don't know how much y'all play a major role in my life. I like to say this all the time. Without y'all, there would be no me. And that's not a motherfucking understatement. You feel me? Anywho, and just like that, guys, the tribe done checked in. If you got something on your chest, something on your heart, or something you need to share, the hotline is always open. All you gotta do is pick up that phone and dial 943-267-1758. Again, the number is 943-267-1758. The hotline is always open. You might hear yourself on the next episode, cousin. You just never know. And if you are listening right now, drop a bumblebee in the comment section down below. If anything you heard today spoke to you, if you have any questions, drop them in the community tab right here on our YouTube channel. Your questions might get read out loud on the next episode. Okay? All right, cousins, that is a wrap for this ride. But the road don't end here. Share this with another driver who needs to hear it. Tap in with your favorite cousin. Follow the show and join the Honey Tribe for more unfiltered backseat combos. That was great, guys. Until next time, 10-4, cousins.